WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson.
Life is precious and it's beautiful just to wake up in the morning. Before I used to take it all for granted. I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing. I didn't care about family, friends, relatives, achievements. I didn't care about fuck all. I just didn't care. But now, after going to hell and back, I appreciate fresh air and a glass of water.
Gratitude.
Smaller things in life.
Gratitude.
Because when you've lost, you never know what you've really got until it's gone.
Yeah.
But I've had the opportunity to be shot down and come back. You know, and you really find out who your friends are, who the people are really behind you, who leaves, who jumps off, and everybody just loves a winner. Nobody wants to be around a loser. Nobody wants to be around a man who's lost his mind. So you really find out who your friends are. The people who call you in distress when you're down and you're out and you don't have any more to offer to them. So I suppose I got to see that side of everything without being beaten in a boxing ring first. So then on the comeback, I have the smallest team ever. The people who were there for me when I was gone, when I was out. So yeah, I keep it nice and small. I'm happy for every day. And whatever happens in life happens. I don't care. My dad was a professional boxer in the late 80s, early 90s, heavyweight. And his hero was you.
Really?
So when I was born August the 12th, 1988, I came into the world and I was 8 weeks premature and I was dying. I wasn't supposed to live. Really? And when I lived, my dad said, I'm going to call you after my favourite heavyweight, Tyson. And the doctor said, no, that's not going to be a good name. He's not going to be very big, this guy.
Really?
When I was born, I only weighed 1 pound in weight. I was tiny.
Wow.
And I grew up to be 6'9" and 265 pounds. It felt really good, you know. I started boxing. I never had my first amateur fight until I was like 16 years old. Yeah. But I was brought up around boxing. I was a gym rat. When my dad was going to the gym, I'd go to the gym with him and I'd be hitting the bags, knocking stuff over in the gym. I was brought up around it. My brothers, cousins, everybody boxes. So we all used to fight each other as kids growing up. And I decided I was going to be heavyweight champion of the world from being a young kid. When people say, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be whatever they wanted to be. They asked me what I want to be. I said heavyweight champion of the world.
I love it.
And nothing, I wasn't going to settle for anything else.
That's how it goes.
And I believe that we're all here for a reason. I believe that everything I do in my life is already planned and set. You know, there's been so many things happen to me throughout my life, and if there was no higher power, then it wouldn't be possible for me to be here. Even in the fight with Wilder, like, brought me off the canvas in round 12 when I was knocked out to raise me to my feet and to fight on for a reason. And I believe the second return for me in boxing, because I had 3 years out the ring. I was down with depression and anxiety. I put on 147 pounds. I was taking drugs on a daily basis. I was drinking on a daily basis. I was gone. I was finished. The only place I ever thought that I'd ever end up was in a padded room somewhere. It was terrible. I was thinking about suicide every day. And I had nothing to be upset about. I was heavyweight champion of the world. I was 27 years old. I had money, fame, glory, a family, achievements, kids. Everything running so smooth, but it didn't matter because mental health will bring you to your knees if you let it. It started off like I'd suffered with mental health problems my whole life, but I didn't know what it was because I never had no education on the matter. And it wasn't until after the Klitschko fight, a very massive high, then I had to have a even worse low, lowest low that anyone could ever have. I'd wake up and I think, why did I wake up this morning? This is coming from a man who had everything: money, fame, glory, titles, a wife, a family, kids, everything. But I felt as if I had nothing. I felt there was an empty, gaping hole that was just filled with gloom and doom, and it just was one bad thing happened to me after another. I believe when you've got a goal in mind from being a child all your life, and you do that, then I was lost. I was almost like I didn't have anything more to do in my life. Although I could have carried on and defended the belts and whatever, I wasn't really interested in doing that. I'd beat the man I'd always wanted to do. Because when I was an amateur boxer, I used to watch Vladimir Klitschko on TV as a world heavyweight champion. And I always aimed, he was my target to beat. And when I finally beat him, it was like climbing my Everest. I didn't have anything more to prove. And the fire was dead. There was no fire. I was forcing myself to fight. And I always said I didn't want to be one of those people who just fought for money. Because there's plenty of people with money in the world, plenty of them. But who knows them? And the reasons for me fighting, it's not for money or for belts or glory. I fight because I don't know anything else. I've always been a fighter, from being born to being 30 years old now. It's all I love to do. I don't have any other passion. I've looked. The Lord knows I've looked. And if I had anything else I was good at or I could do, I'd be doing it. I tried retirement. I was 27. I retired under the second man in boxing heavyweight history to retire unbeaten as a world champion like Rocky Marciano before me. But it wasn't enough. I was like, I am lost without this fight game. I tried golfing. I tried clay pigeon shooting. I tried 4x4ing. I tried going to strip clubs, bars, restaurants, everything. And it was just like, I had this emptiness inside where I just wanted to fight. Boxing brought me back because I was living very wild. And, you know, when you lose the passion to breathe fresh air anymore and you don't want to live, you're in a terrible place. And I remember a moment I was in a high performance car, Ferrari. I was heading towards a bridge. Heading towards this bridge at high speed, 190 miles an hour, and I was going to crash into a bridge. And before I hit this bridge, I got to about maybe 500 foot from the bridge, and I heard a voice. I physically heard a voice speak to me and say, "Stop! Don't do this." And I pulled over. I remember I was shaking, I was crying, I was thinking. I knew I was totally gone. I didn't think I'd ever come back. Like, boxing was the last thing I ever cared about at this position. And I remember thinking, you know what, if I'm ever going to get right again, I've got to get fit. I've got to lose the weight. I wasn't losing the weight to come back to return to the fight game. I was losing it for me, for my health. And the more I trained, the more I was getting better and better by the day. I lost a lot of weight quickly. And I was feeling good, I was feeling great again, and I wanted to get back in the ring. I felt like I had a lot more to offer, a lot more to give. Retirement wasn't for me. I had 3 years out the ring, and it was a horrible 3 years, the worst 3 years of my active life. And I thought, I'm going to get back in the ring, I'm going to fight again. It's not about winning belts or anything. I'm just having fun. You know, I box now because I love to fight, and I finally found what I love to do.
What is that?
And that's to be involved in good fights and take punches and hit people back. You know, I go into these fights and I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm like a loose cannon, a crazy character. I don't care if they hit me. I don't care what they do. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have fun in the fight. They're all serious, like, oh my God, this is a fight. And I'm like, doing dances, fucking waving my arms in the air, singing to them.
I noticed that.
I don't care anymore. You know, I've gone past the stage of caring about a fight. I've never been as happy as this in my whole career.
That's awesome.
Never. I'm so happy right now, so mentally well, so unconcerned about what people think of me.
Andy.